Do you have any database war stories from your time, building and launching Zelma?
Yeah, I think I do indeed. So yeah, so when we launched, so like I said, Emily has really significant blog presence, and so she shared this out through her blog initially, and that led to a big flood of traffic of people who were really excited to check out Zelma when we launched, and pretty much immediately we started seeing latency in the app itself until the app was totally just frozen. You would go to load this page of all of the feed of everything people were doing, and it would just be nothing. Of course, I had been up, late testing it, trying out different things, all this stuff. And so I'm sort of exhausted coming into the launch, really excited. We're finally there. And then, yeah, database, we track it down. Turns out database pegged 100% CPU right off the bat. And I'm like, all right, we do what we got to do. And so, follows sort of standard protocol rather than trying to figure out too much what's going on. It's like, let's just embiggen it. Something is clearly inefficient. Let's just embiggen it. So took it from, I think it was like, it was pretty small. It was like maybe 4 gigs of RAM up to 16 gigs of RAM, 100% pegged again. Took it from 16 gigs of RAM up to, and more vCPUs, et cetera, up to like 64. Now we're at like 90%. And both of these cause downtime too, which is, so it's like, we know that we're going to cause like another like 3 minutes of downtime with each of these upgrades. We have finally up to like 64 gigs of RAM, like maybe 16 vCPUs, something like that. The thing gets to 90%. And so we threw on performance monitoring, threw on slow logs, threw on a bunch of kind of like Postgres observability pieces. And we realized that there's a lot of text searching that people do for school names, districts, counties. And we had indexed, we'd used was it the GIN index to tokenize and index text. We had done it for the district and the school, but not for the county. And it turned out, for whatever reason, that user base was very excited to ask about counties. And so there were a bunch of these queries on the homepage, and we don't actually cache the results of the database query. So we cache the LLM generation of the SQL, but not the results themselves. It's a future improvement potentially. But so every page load from every person was hitting us with this county query, which ends up being a scan over the 100 million rows, of text search of a text search, which is also a wildcard both sides includes. So it's on case sense, super inefficient thing to scan over. So we added that, and immediately the usage dropped to sub 1% after that
Wow.
index was started on. And then
Damn.
a couple more index tweaks that we found from there to be able to scale it back down. But